Today, we are talking all about the mind-muscle connection and how to improve it to maximize your hypertrophy gains. Let's get after it. Alright, so first things first, what exactly is the mind-muscle connection? It's simply the ability to consciously feel and activate a target muscle during an exercise, rather than just moving the weight from point A to point B. To illustrate this, think about two different ways you could perform a curl. First, you could just lift the dumbbell from down low up to your shoulder and back down, focusing primarily on smoothly and safely moving the weight. Or you could perform the same exact movement, but this time really focusing your attention on flexing the bicep muscle, feeling it contract as you lift the weight and then slowly stretch as you lower it back down. In this second example, you're not only concentrating on moving the weight, but also on the sensation of your bicep working against the resistance. That's the essence of the mind-muscle connection. Now, you may be wondering, why does this even matter? After all, your muscles will grow regardless of whether you have a strong mind-muscle connection or not. Right? Well, yes. Your muscles will grow if you consistently do two things. First, progressively overload your muscles by applying enough tension to create a stimulus for growth. And second, allow your body sufficient time to recover and adapt to that stimulus. However, having a strong mind-muscle connection will enhance both of these factors, leading to more effective stimulation and growth. Without a strong mind-muscle connection, you run the risk of other muscles compensating and doing most of the work, which reduces the overall growth stimulus on the target muscle. Even if you feel like you're targeting the right muscle, without that direct feedback, it's possible that other muscles are stepping in and taking over. So how do you know if you've got a good mind-muscle connection? Simply put, if you can feel the muscle you're trying to train during the exercise, that's a good sign. If you're bench pressing and you can clearly feel your chest working, that's a positive indicator. But if you find yourself relying heavily on momentum or other body parts to complete the reps, you might need to focus on refining your mind-muscle connection. So here are 5 tips to help you develop a stronger mind-muscle connection. 1. Slow down the movement. One effective way to strengthen your mind-muscle connection is to focus on the eccentric or lowering phase of the lift. This is when the muscle is being stretched under load, and research suggests that it provides an additional growth stimulus beyond the concentric or lifting phase. By slowing down this eccentric portion, you'll give your brain more time to receive sensory feedback from the muscle and better understand how to control it. For instance, instead of quickly lowering the weight on a bicep curl, take a couple of seconds to really feel the bicep stretch under tension. This will help your brain make a stronger connection between the stretch sensation and the muscle responsible for it. Next, reduce the weight. Now this doesn't mean drop the weight so low that you possibly build muscle with it. Rather, it's a temporary strategy to help you establish or re-establish that connection. Let us say you're re-performing deadlifts and start to notice that your mind-muscle connection is what it used to be. You may want to consider reducing the weight load so that you can focus purely on feeling the target muscle contract and stretch. Once you've re-established that connection, you can gradually increase the load back up. Third, pre-exhaust the muscle. Another effective method to improve your mind-muscle connection is to perform an isolation exercise for the target muscle before a compound movement. This practice, known as pre-exhaustion, is based on the idea that when you fatigue a muscle before a compound movement, you essentially wake it up and make it more responsive, enhancing your mind-muscle connection. For example, you could start your workout with barbell curls followed by bench press. By doing barbell curls first, you fatigue your biceps, which will carry over to the bench press. This should help you feel more connected to your chest as you press. Fourth, use tactile cues. You can also use tactile cues to help you focus on the target muscle. This could involve lightly touching or placing a hand on the muscle you were trying to activate before or during the exercise. For example, before performing squats, you could place a hand on your glutes to remind yourself to squeeze them as you lift. Though it may sound odd, this simple cueing method can be quite effective in helping you pay closer attention to the muscle you're reworking. And finally, 5. Visualize. The power of visualization in training cannot be overlooked. Take a moment to close your eyes and picture yourself performing an exercise like a squat, deadlift, or bench press. As you go through the movement in your head, imagine the target muscle contracting and stretching. By mentally rehearsing this, you're essentially strengthening the neural connections related to that movement and preparing your mind and body for action. Okay, so now let's talk about how you can apply these tips to different exercises. First, isolation exercises. These are typically easier to establish a connection on because you're focusing on just one muscle group. Take bicep curls and tricep extensions, for example. When you're doing these exercises, you can really focus on the contraction and stretch of the target muscle without any other muscle groups getting in the way. That said, it's still important to maintain good form and control the movement. Don't just swing the weight up or use momentum to lower it. That won't build muscle and it could lead to injury. Instead, focus on the quality of each rep. Feel the muscle working through the full range of motion, and make sure you're getting a good stretch at the bottom. Next, compound exercises. Now these will be much more challenging, but they're also very important to focus on. Think bench presses, squats, deadlifts, and rows. Establishing a strong mind-muscle connection on these exercises can be tricky, especially when there are multiple muscle groups involved. But here's how you can approach it. For exercises like the bench press, rows and pull-ups, try to feel the large back muscles working. You can also cue yourself to squeeze your shoulder blades together as you press, pull, or row. For movements like squats and deadlifts, focus on your legs and glutes. Imagine pushing the ground away from you with your feet and driving your hips forward as you lift. The key here is to not get caught up in the overall lifting motion and lose focus on the target muscles. Set an intention to feel those muscles working throughout the exercise. And remember, improving your mind-muscle connection is a long-term process. It requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to focusing on the quality of your reps, rather than just the quantity. Start by setting small goals for yourself, like really nailing that connection on 1 or 2 exercises per workout. Over time, as you see improvements, you can gradually expand to more exercises. In conclusion, the mind-muscle connection is a crucial aspect of hypertrophy training that often gets overlooked. By strengthening this connection, you can ensure that you're targeting the right muscles effectively, reducing the risk of injury, and ultimately maximizing your muscle growth potential. Remember, it's not just about lifting heavy weights. It's about lifting heavy weights with intention and focus. So the next time you hit the gym, pay close attention to the way you're removing, and make a conscious effort to feel the muscles you're reworking. Your muscles will thank you for it in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your fitness enthusiast friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on future content. Thanks for watching and happy lifting.